No one saw this coming. Just a few weeks ago, the Chicago Bears defense looked like a disaster waiting to happen. They were giving up points, missing tackles, and couldn't stop a single deep throw. After that humiliating loss to Detroit early in the season, fans were angry, confused, and honestly, ready to give up on this unit. But something changed, something deep inside Halas Hall. When Dennis Allen took control of the defense, it wasn't just about calling plays. It was about changing the mindset. He brought a level of energy and creativity that had been missing. He mixed coverages, disguised blitzes, and forced his players to think and react faster. And suddenly, this defense flipped a switch. The Bears went from being pushed around to being feared. 15 takeaways in just 4 games, that's not luck. That's domination. And remember, they did this without their full secondary. Kyler Gordon? Out with a groin injury, placed on short-term IR. Tyrique Stevenson? Also banged up. Jalen Johnson? Missed weeks after surgery. Still, this defense refused to fold. The numbers tell the story. 11 interceptions, 10 of them in the last month. That's 1 pick every 19 pass attempts. Think about that. Every time an opposing quarterback throws 20 passes, one of them ends up in the hands of a Bear. No other team even comes close to that rate. And here's the wild part. They're doing this without an elite pass rush. That's right. Even with limited pressure up front, this defense finds ways to create chaos. Dennis Allen deserves the credit. He's turned average cover guys into ball hawks. He's turned linebackers into instinctive playmakers. And most importantly, he's built a defense that believes again. Kevin Byard's resurgence has been the heartbeat of this turnaround. Signed to be a steady veteran presence, he's become something more, a leader, a spark, a problem for every quarterback he faces. 4 interceptions in the last month alone. He's everywhere, reading eyes, jumping routes, filling run lanes. At 31, he looks like the same All-Pro who terrorized quarterbacks back in Tennessee. And it's not just him. When Tyrique Stevenson ripped that ball away against Dallas early in the season, everything changed. That play, one single moment, flipped the Bears' defensive identity. From that point on, the message was clear: we're not backing down. The secret weapon of this resurgence? Not just talent. It's alignment, literally. The Bears' coaching staff made a bold move, one that almost no one outside the building noticed. They switched their linebacker positions. In the old scheme, Tremaine Edmunds played the middle, and T.J. Edwards was on the weak side. But Dennis Allen and Ben Johnson saw something others didn't. They realized Edmunds' speed and instincts could be even deadlier at the weak side, while Edwards' strength and vision fit perfectly in the middle. The result? A revolution. Tremaine Edmunds is now playing the best football of his Bears career, maybe even his entire NFL career. 3 interceptions, multiple pass breakups, top 10 in tackles, and for the first time, he looks like he's worth every bit of that $72 million contract. The Bears took a lot of heat for signing him, but he's proving the critics wrong. Edmunds looks faster, freer, and more confident than ever before. And T.J. Edwards? He's been equally impressive. Sliding back to middle linebacker, he's been a tackling machine and one of the most consistent defenders on the roster. Here's what makes this even more impressive. It wasn't an accident. Back in training camp, the staff made sure both linebackers practiced at both positions. That foresight paid off. When injuries hit, when rotations shifted, everyone knew exactly what to do. That's elite coaching. You can feel the difference in every snap. This defense isn't guessing anymore, they're anticipating. And that anticipation has turned into production. Dennis Allen's defensive mind has blended modern flexibility with old-school toughness. He's not afraid to mix it up, bringing safeties down into the box, disguising pressure looks, or rotating coverage at the snap. It's chess, not checkers. Even players who looked like afterthoughts are thriving. Noah Sewell stepped in when Edwards was hurt, and handled the middle with surprising poise. Dominique Robinson, once on the verge of being cut, now looks like a legitimate rotational edge rusher. Guys who were supposed to be depth, are now difference makers. Before we continue, Bears fans, if you're loving this kind of breakdown, this is the place for you. We bring you in-depth analysis, injury updates, and film breakdowns every single week. No fluff, just real football talk. So, take 2 seconds right now, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and drop a "bear down" in the comments if you believe in this defense. Your support keeps this coverage going strong. Alright, back to the story. Because what's happening with this defense is too good to ignore. Every successful defense faces adversity, and this one has had plenty. The Bears have been hit hard by injuries. Jalen Johnson missed more than a month. Kyler Gordon's been sidelined. Grady Jarrett, TJ Edwards, Reese Smith, all missed time. At one point, the team was down 4 defensive starters and still managed to shut down high-powered offenses. That's what separates a good defense from a great one: depth and discipline. Players like Tyrique Stevenson have stepped up in ways few expected. After getting exposed by Detroit earlier this year, he took that performance personally. He watched the film, fixed his mistakes, and since then, has looked like a true CB1. 10 completions allowed on 24 targets, 1 touchdown given up, and a quarterback rating against him of just 67.2. Those are elite numbers. And here's the best part: he's just getting started. When Stevenson and Gordon are both healthy, and Jalen Johnson returns later in the year, this secondary could be terrifying. Add Kevin Byard's leadership and Brisker's physicality, and you've got one of the most balanced units in football. Now, let's talk about the data. Outside that Detroit meltdown, the Bears rank 11th in points allowed per game, 20.6, 15th in total yards allowed, and 8th against the pass, without a pass rush. That's unreal. They're averaging around 3 takeaways a game, which leads the NFL. Their third down defense is holding teams to just 30% conversions. This isn't a fluke. This is preparation, execution, and relentless effort. When you watch this team now, you see something different: confidence. Every tackle, every blitz, every interception feels calculated. The players trust the scheme, and the scheme trusts the players. Dennis Allen deserves an A grade across the board. He's brought organization where there was once chaos, leadership where there was confusion, and results that speak louder than any stat sheet. If the Bears keep playing at this level, they'll enter December not as underdogs, but as a legitimate playoff threat. And for a fanbase starving for meaningful football, that's something to believe in. So now the question isn't whether Dennis Allen's system works. The question is, how far can it take them? Because if this defense keeps forcing turnovers, playing with heart, and trusting their coach, Chicago might just have found something special. And maybe, just maybe, the Bears' defense is finally back. Bear down.